basics of the SAP. So even in that, what is the menu bar, what is the status bar, what is the toolbar? So we just have discussed about that one. Okay, so before going to start the today's session, once again I am going to show how SAP is going to looks like. I think Chaudaya and Shindu, they are already aware of this one. So, but this is just for Virendra purpose. Okay, I'm just logging once again because yesterday, unfortunately, the system was not working when I was trying to log in. Okay. Now, so Viru, you can see here, as we discussed here yesterday. So this is the SAP logon pad. This is the SAP logon pad where I can able to see. Okay, double click here so that it will. This is the client. Each client has a different username. I mean, username will be unique, but the password will be differ. You can see here the moment when I am going to enter username and password, system will log in. Okay, so let it log in. Meantime, we'll continue the session. Okay, so far what we have discussed, once again, before going to start the main topic, so let us recap once again. So if you want to become even, a good consultant, FICO being, FICO consultant, what things to be required? Okay, so number one is a accounts, basics of the accounts, basics of the accounting. This we have already discussed. This we have already discussed the topic. Then, and also even in the basics of accounting also, even we have discussed how the accounting entries. So accounting entries are nothing but a which account is going to debit, which account is going to credit. Even we have discussed there are few golden rules in the accounting. So personal account, real account, nominal account, we have already discussed about this one also, accounting entries. But I'm not saying that we have discussed entire accounting entries, but I just have given a overview of the accounting, how the accounting entries takes place. Okay, but now depends on the situation and nature of the transaction, the accounting entry will get changed. Okay, those accounting entries are, so nature of the transaction that will get changed. Then, now this is also, this we have already discussed. Then the next one would be a, so what you need to know, because we have learned about the basics of accounting, accounting entries we learned. Then if you the what else, what additional things to be required in order to become a consultant. So now you should be familiar with the business language. You should be understand and familiar with SAP terminology. So what is meant by SAP terminology? Okay, so we know that one SAP terminology, especially in is FICO module. So when I say that FICO module, so we are going to discuss a lot more topics under the FICO. I can say GL accounting, accounts payable, accounts receivable. Apart from these, there are insights, there are a number of things. I would say document types, the number ranges, even currency. Okay, so you should be familiar with all these terminologies. Okay, going forward, I'll make you people to be comfortable all these areas. Then apart from this, what else to be required? You should require MS Office skills, MS Office skills like Excel and PowerPoint, PPT, Word document, and Excel. You should require skills on this also. Okay, definitely, because as a consultant, we must have to prepare some PowerPoint presentations in order to present in front of the client. Even we need to prepare a document, Word documents. Even we need to work on the Excel sheets also. Okay, if there is any need based, we have to work all together. Okay, so now the next one is that we need to think as a consulting point of view, because we are not the end users. First of all, we are not the end users. Okay, so whatever the data we are getting, then we are not feeding that data into the system. So we need to think about always to fulfill the business requirement consulting point of view. Always we need to think about as a consultant, not as a end user. Okay, the view, consulting view. Okay, consulting, I'll put it here is consultant consultant view. Okay, so or else consultant solution, consulting solution. I'll put here is the consulting solution. How the consulting solution would be? So we need to think about business perspective. We need to think about business perspective. Then the second thing is that we need to think about consulting point of view, consulting point of view. Even we need to think about end users point of view. So as a consultant, okay, if there is any business requirement which we are going to providing the solution to the business, then we must have to think about how the business, what is the business need, and also we need to think about how it is going to fit into in the system. Then even we must also think about end users point of view. Okay, but who is the end users and are, definitely I will cover going forward. I will explain what is the difference between consultant and end user. Now coming to the let's assume we are in stand. From the beginning we are just discussing about. So if I go bit up here, so our motto is that the Tata Motors, so they are having the different softwares, and each and every department is using a different softwares. Now they would like to adapt to the SAP functionality. This is what we are discussing. Now coming to coming to now, what we need to discuss here. So now we need to feel as a, okay, this is a one kind of implementation. Okay, remember. So the requirement would be, so the requirement now, Tata Motors need to go for the, need to go for SAP software implementation. So now what is our role? What is our role? Okay, because we are just thinking about, okay, we are, but there are different kind of projects are there. The Tata Motors need to go for the implementation. So now this is the implementation project, as I would say. Now we will be in the implementation project. So now, so this means it is the implementation. It is the implementation project for consultants. For consultants. So now we will be participating in this implementation project. Then what would be our role? Then, okay, what kind of terminologies and what and for what things we need to support? Okay, so during the project implementation, there are different kind of methodologies which they are going to follow. So when I would say the methodology, so the old methodology, one of the old methodology, project implementation methodology, project project methodologies. I'll change this one later. Now, the project implementation methodologies. So, one is a ASAP methodology. Okay, accelerated SAP methodology. This is a one of the SAP methodology, but this is the old methodology. But now the peoples are following the agile methodology. Agile methodology. Okay. Agile methodology, then waterfall methodology. So again, there are new methodologies which I could see even recent days. So different clients are following the different methodologies. But nowadays, most of the clients during the implementation, they are just following the agile methodology. But the methodologies, project methodologies and all in detail, I am going to cover in the project sessions. Okay, so just for your information. And also, so now let's assume Viru is going to, I mean, you three peoples. Okay, so we are four peoples are there. So now we all are going to participate in the consulting side. Let's assume. Okay, so now four peoples we are grouped together. Okay, so we will be participating from FICO side. Okay, so now how the implementation project will be? Okay, so the implementation project teams. Because before going to understand the implementation, before going to, okay, so now first let me explain you. So the teams, how the teams will be there, because we together we are going to support only for FICO activities. But what about others? Finance and controlling to fulfill business needs, we will be there. But what about? Okay, so the modules, let's assume FI and CO is there. So for FICO, we are going to support, let's assume, we are going to we 4 people. Okay, from FICO point of view, we 4 people, 4 peoples will be supporting. Then the second thing is that what about the sales and distribution? What about the sales and distribution? Okay, sales and distribution, let us think about 2 peoples will be there, 2 persons. So let's assume material management. So in the material management, let's assume 4 persons will be supporting. So like this, each and every module individually, so the individual consultants will be there in the implementation project. Remember, so I'll put the here. For each and every module will have a separate consultants in the implementation projects. Because the reason being that we know only the FICO functionality, finance and controlling related functionality, we will work on these functionalities. But okay, certain extent, even we know sales and distribution, material management. But if the client would like to have a different scenarios and different functionalities, maybe we may not fulfill those requirements. So that could be the reason each and every module will have a separate consultant in order to fulfill the requirements. Okay, so now let's assume so that we will be there in the implementation project. Even from the FICO point of view also, okay, one person is responsible for GL accounting, one person is responsible for accounts payable and accounts receivable, one more person is responsible for the bank accounting and as well as asset accounting. Even like that also, they are going to divide, okay, the responsible persons. So what they would say, who is the key person, who is the POC, okay, who is the point of contact person for this entire module, okay, that I will come later. Okay, so now let's assume we will be participating in the implementation project. So how the team structure will be, okay, team structure. This is a very, very important one. Team structures in the implementation project. Okay, what are the teams are going to participate? We just discussed about the consulting point of view. Okay, so now team structure, let's assume. So let's assume we are working from the, okay, let's assume we are working in the XYZ organization. I'll keep it as a Wipro. So we are working in Wipro. Okay, let's assume. So we all together we are consulting side. Okay, Wipro is the consulting organization. Okay, Wipro is the consulting side. I'll put like this. Then let's assume Tata Motors is the client for us. Remember, everybody will say that one, the implementation partner Okay, I would say here also even implementation. Okay, consulting partner. Consulting partner. So now Tata Motors is the client. For Tata Motors, we are going to do the implementation, SAP implementation to the Tata Motors. So now, is it clear for all? Okay, who is the consulting partner? Who is the Tata Motors? I mean, who is the client? Everybody. This is a very, very important one.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So now, this is a consulting firm. This is the client. Now, from the consulting point of view, how the team structures will be there? Then the team structure will be project manager will be there. Then under the project manager, team leads will be there. Or in case delivery heads will be there. Under delivery heads, team leads will be there. Under team leads, then consultants will be there. So this is the hierarchy of the team structure in the implementation project. Even the same structure will be applicable for support project also. Then now back. Now, okay, so now here also the project manager will be there. Client side, project manager will be there. Under project manager, process owners will be there. Process owners. Under process owners, core team members will be there. Under core team members, end users. So end users will be there. This is the team structure from the client point of view. From the client point of view, just remember here. Now, our role here, we will be here. You remember here, this is our role. So we will be here. If somebody would say, okay, our role, then now later, I mean, during the project sessions, I am going to cover who is the core team members, then who is the end users and all. Okay, but now we will be here. Okay, so now we are going to do the implementation to the Tata Motors. Now, during the implementation project, what kind of role we need to perform? So, what kind of documents we would require to prepare? Okay, so now we must have to aware. Then, so the documentation during the implementation, we must prepare the following. We must work with the following documents. Okay, so we must have to work with the during the implementation. Then, so the people would say, then some kind of documents we must have to work. Everybody will say RICEF W, RICEF, RICEF W. Okay. So now what is mean by RICEF W? Everybody will say that one. Okay. This is the short form of, okay. So now R stands for, okay. I'll elaborate one by one here. R stands for reports. I stands for interfaces. C stands for conversions. E stands for enhancements. Enhancements. Then F stands for forms. W stands for, one second. Second. Fine. Conversions. Sorry, even this one also. Enhancements. Forms. Okay, so the last one, okay, which I forgot, is a workflows. Workflows. So we must have to work on this anything. Okay, I will explain in detail. Okay, so what is meant by RICEF and all. Then during the project session, I am going to cover. So now let us move to the, then these are the documents which we need to work. Then again, so we need to work the URS documents. Then as is business process. Okay, we need to study as a consultant. We need to study the client business, client existing business process. So how you are going to study the client existing business process? Being as a FI consultant, let's assume we must have to study the existing reports, financial reports, or how the process is going on. We need to discuss with the business people. And also for controlling point of view, we must have to, in case if the client would like to go for the product costing implementation, we must have to visit the plant site. Then we need to understand the end-to-end business process, because this is a very, very important one. Okay, or else somebody should be there, it's on site, then they must have to provide information back to consultants. Then who is working from offshore. Okay, so again the person, two things will be there. One is onshore and offshore will be there. Onshore means the person who is sitting at client place and working and fulfilling the requirements. That person we are going to call it as an on-site person. Okay, let's assume we are working. The Tata Motors, which is located in Mumbai. Okay, somebody is in Mumbai. Then that person we are going to call it as a on-site person. So offshore person, Means we are working from Bangalore location. So where we are sitting in office, then we are supporting. So we are offshore people, the person who is working from client place, then we are going to call it as a onshore. Okay. Now our on-site people. So now the similar logic is applicable. Even the person is working country too. Okay. Somebody is the client is related to the US. Okay, so the person is staying at US, is supporting for the, I mean, offshore people. Okay, so now what we need to do, we need to prepare, we need to prepare business blueprint, business blueprint documents. Okay, so what is meant by business blueprint? So we need to study the existing business process. Then, in order to fit that existing business process into SAP system, then we must have to prepare the business blueprint document. Okay. So the business blueprint document, how the process is going to looks like in SAP system. Then even we need to prepare the configuration documents, functional specification, documents, process documents. So I'm just giving the overview here. Again, it's a BPML, a business process masters list, what we are going to call it as a BPML. So I'm just giving the high level. Then so these are the documents, a few documents which we need to prepare. Then apart from this, the testing point of view, what we need to perform in the system. Okay, so now the testing point of view, even we need to unit testing. So before going to perform unit testing, if anything would required, business would require, we must have to perform. Okay, I'll put this one. So now POC, okay, proof of concept, proof of concept. Okay, POCs, we must have to support to the POC also. Okay, what is mean by proof of concept? Okay, we have done the config. I mean, we are going to do the implementation that particular business process, whether that business process is going to work in the system or not. Okay, we will use some test client, I mean some sandbox kind of thing. Then we will show the functionality, how it will be looks like in the upcoming days. Okay, so now unit testing, we must have to perform the unit testing. Then we must have to perform the unit testing. Then we must have to perform the integration testing. We must have to perform the integration testing. Again, then then even we must have to prepare the end user manuals, which are going to support for the end users. Okay, so now, and also we must have to prepare the test scripts. So like this, if we talk about, there are a number of things, but being as a consultant, we must have to aware all these things here. During the implementation, we must work with the following documents. Okay, either anyone from this, anyone, I'm not saying that we must have to work all together, but anyone you may see, these are the documents. Okay, so now once this will be clear, then what are the modules? Okay, now let's say, so now what are the modules which we are going to discuss in the sessions? So we must have the clear visibility on that one. So now let's say, what are the modules we are going to implementation? Okay, let's say then the following modules, the following F, okay, the following FICO sub modules to be implemented, the following FICO sub modules to be implemented for Tata Motors. Tata Motors. Let's assume. Okay, so for Tata Motors, we are just thinking about FICO point of view. Then the modules which we are going to implement, number one is a general ledger accounting. Then accounts payable, accounts receivable, bank accounting, asset accounting, taxes, then new general ledger accounting. So now from the FI point of view, remember these the modules from the finance point of view, the below modules we are going to implement to the Tata Motors. Then from the controlling side, from the controlling perspective, what are the modules we are going to implement? Cost element accounting, but no more cost element accounting in S4HANA. But just for your understanding purpose, I just updated here. Then cost center accounting. Then internal orders, internal orders, profit center accounting, product costing, COPA profitability analysis, controlling and profitability analysis. So these are the modules which we are going to discuss in, we are going to learn in controlling point of view. Apart from this, even we are going to learn in addition to those modules, integration, integration between material management. Yeah. Okay. So now integration between material management to finance. At the same time, integration between sales and distribution to finance module, which we are going to discuss. So once all these topics will be completed, then I'm going to cover the additional sessions for the project sessions. So in the project sessions, which you are going to learn, so what would be our role as a being as a consultant? What will be our role and what documentation we need to prepare? We just seen couple of documents. in the above. But now how requirement we need to gather from the business people, how we need to understand, and what is mean by process document, what is mean by BPML, okay, what is the RISIF in detail. We will discuss the additional topics in the project sessions. Okay, once the project sessions will be completed, then I will hand over to you. You people will be start your job searching. Okay, so now just for your information. So now before going to start the main topic, what you people need to do. Okay, these are the topics which we have already discussed. Okay, so now during the sessions, what we are going to follow. Number one is a, let's say, there are some guidelines which you need to follow. No need to write. No need to write any class running notes. Okay, you just focus what I'm going to explain. Okay, no need to write anything here. Okay, because I'm going to provide you the configuration document in detail. Okay, don't worry about that one. The step by step I will provide you. You just concentrate what I'm going to explain. Then, and also no need to refer any other documents or videos. Okay, or I mean any documents and further. Okay, you just follow my instructions. Okay, how the business process, I mean what I'm going to explain in the system. Then again, as soon as possible, the class, as soon as possible, you can start practice. Okay, put it instead of this one, up to date. Okay, up to date in the practice. Up to date. Okay, you must have to the practice should be up to date. Okay, the practice should be up to date, otherwise it will be, I mean you will get confused. Okay, so now no need to, I mean first thing is that no need to write any class running notes. Okay, no need to refer any other documents. Okay, and also up to date in the practice. Okay, so that at least you need to spend 1 hour every day. In case if it is not possible, you are working, then at least during the weekend you can spend the time, then you can do the practice. Okay, let's assume in case of any queries, in case of any queries during the during practice, during the practice you can ask in the session, in the sessions. Okay, so that I'm going to clarify all the whatever the queries which you are having. Okay, so just please concentrate what I'm going to explain. Okay, so now I'm just moving, and also you need to become familiar with the some other things. Okay, so the transport and all that I will explain. Don't worry about that one. Okay, now few things which I have already explained. Is it clear? First of all, this one. Is it clear? What we are going to learn with this sessions in upcoming days. So these are the modules which we are going to learn. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Fine. No problem. Now So now how SAP looks like, now you can see here, as I have given, let me come because Sushma, she was not there. So then this is the SAP logon pad. Either you can click here or you just double click on this one so that it will open the one more window. You must ensure this one in which client you are going to log in. Okay, as I mentioned in the yesterday session, there will be a three kind of clients will be there: development server, quality server, and production server. Okay, so now in which client you are logging into, you should be clear on that one. So now the moment when you would like to log in into SAP, you must aware the client, then you must aware username, you must aware the password for that particular client. Then by default, SAP is going to take English language, but SAP also is going to support for 50 plus languages. I will show you that one. You going forward, enter once, as soon as once enter username and password, you can just press enter. So that the system will take you through this is the front end screen where you can see here. So now you can see yesterday we have discussed about menu bar, status bar, toolbar. Okay, these are the things that we have already discussed. So now you can see here the screen, the moment when we are going to enter, then the system will pop up. So the system will pop up the SAP Easy Access screen. So the SAP Easy Access screen, which is the, let me take the screenshot. I'll explain one by one in detail, because from here, please concentrate here. From here, it is going to start. Okay, our main task. Okay, so now SAP Easy Access. Now, once we log in into SAP, we will get the below screen. Then we will get the easy access screen. Instead of below, we will get the SAP connect this charging. We will get the SAP easy access screen, easy access. Now, what is meant by easy access? Okay, so now before going to understand the easy access, let us discuss about a few things I will show you. Okay, so now here, okay, so now let's say now you want to create, okay, let's assume we are the consultant, we would require is a separate folder. Okay, we would require is a separate folder, whatever the important things which I am going to add in that folder. Okay, so now let's say favorites. Okay, now insert folder, keep cursor on the favorites, click on the right arrow, mouse side, then insert folder. Let's say which I am going to insert folder as a Vijay. Okay, so now save it. So now this is the folder which I have created on my name. Now I would like to include few things in this folder. If I can go inside of this one, nothing is there. I would like to include some of the favorite things in this folder. How can I include them? So now you can see here, let's say the SAP Fiori Launchpad, which is available here. Even that the same thing should be available in my folder also. There will be two things. Either you can drag and drop. Okay, drag and drop here so that it will be available here also, just for your information. Okay, or else let's say I'm just putting back that one. I'm just going a few things here. So now if I want to, so now let's say this is the functionality which should be there in my ID. Okay, so now you just click on the this one and click on the favorite, add favorites. So okay, add favorites, by default it is selecting, but just I'm just moving from here to here. You can see here. So now you can do like this, whatever you want, but still that will be here. But I mean, see, frequently if you want to use these two things, okay, no need to go inside of the system, no need to search them. But as soon as once you log in, whatever the things which you want to use daily basis, then it will be readily available. Okay, you just come here, you just use them. In case if you want to remove from here, you can just click on this one, delete from the favorites, so that that will get deleted. If you want to do any changes here, you can just click on this one and change the favorites. If you want to do any changes here. Okay, this is way how you need to keep favorites in your easy access screen. Okay, now let's say here within SAP also, there is a communication mechanism which is available. Okay, so now if you come and click on this one, okay, so SAP Business Workplace here. If I click this one, so this is the SAP inbox. Okay, so now you can see here, you can see, are there any work? This is the inbox which is dedicated to this user. This user has the inbox. Are there any communications within SAP? You can see here, these are the communications which has been performed. Then this is the, is there any unread? Okay, is there any unread, I mean document? Are there any workflows which has been triggered? Okay, are there any rules at the same time outbox also, where you can able to see that if there are any outbox communications. Okay, so now how to set the favorites we have seen. Okay, so how, oh, sorry. Okay, so how to set the favorites? So this we have seen how it is going to work, but in tomorrow's session again we will discuss about the what is easy access, what is the IMG screen. We will discuss. Then I will start the some basic configuration. Okay, what basic configuration to be required? What are the things? Then we'll explain one by one in the upcoming session. Okay, so far what we have discussed, is that clear for all? Hello?
Okay, sir. Yes.
Okay. Okay, fine. Yeah, thank you. Okay.